Hello and welcome to Breathwood. Got a question for you. You know those techniques that you know you should work on, but you don't want to, or they're hard? What do you do about those? I want to know what you do about those techniques. The one I'm wanting to talk about today is practicing playing Didge without the Didge. I just recently drove from Vancouver to Seattle, so that was a 2.5-hour drive down across the border. And I didn't think to pack a box Didge, and I don't really think it's the best idea to play while driving anyway. And my radio doesn't work in my car. So I had 2.5 hours to myself to do whatever, think whatever, and I ended up throat singing, overtone singing, and doing Didge without the Didge. And I have some interesting things to share. Number one, I know it's actually harder in some ways. If you've tried it and struggled with it, I think a couple things are going on. One of the things is that the opening of the Didge helps hold your mouth in place and isolate the muscles you need to buzz your lips versus the muscles you need to keep still. So, if you take two fingers like this, this is if you're having trouble buzzing your lips without the Didge. You're going to put them somewhere in this area. And just press only as hard as you would put your mouth against the Didge. So right in here somewhere. This will help you feel the separation between the corner of your mouth and the inside where you're buzzing your lips. If you play side, then you don't need both necessarily, but you could do it like this. So that's a good place to start, just to get the feeling. Eventually, you want to be able to take your fingers away. And one of the first things I notice after, 20, 30 minutes of buzzing my lips by myself in my car is that this area right here got tired. I thought by now my lips must be pretty strong. So the fact that I got tired in this area really surprised me and showed me that I have more training to do to really build the strength in this area. If you think about making trumpet notes, you need some really precise but strong muscle control around your buzz so that you can get a tighter buzz without blowing really hard. Same with buzzing the lips. So here's how it looks when I buzz my lips. I can soften it, get lower and higher tones based on the pressure. That's good practice. But here's the next thing. If you circular breathe by puffing your cheeks on the Didge, you have to be able to separate the cheek motion from the lips. That's where this can come in handy. I haven't actually tried this. I'm going to try to circular breathe with my cheeks, with my fingers here. Aha! It helps a little. It helps kind of isolate this part from this part. Take them away though, and I find gets really challenging. It's harder to isolate the cheeks without the Didge there to hold things in place. That's where the throat circular breathing is super helpful. All of this moving in an open and closing motion. Now I can play with my lips without a Didge and circular breathe and go as long as I want or until this all gets tired. So working on the throat will help you play without the Didge. And again, it's just the feeling of yawning in the back of your throat. Oh, like really open. Oh, and then closing it. Yeah, it's like you're kind of starting to swallow. And that squeezes the air out your lips. So I worked on a rhythm that went something like and then added a cha sound. So I thought I'd share that since a nice rhythm came out of my driving. A bunch of others did too, but I only managed to record a couple on my phone so I could remember them. So this rhythm goes. So you're going to go open, squeeze, cha. Actually, open, squeeze, ha. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to try to go chaka while buzzing your lips the whole time. Practice that for a while. Changes a little bit each time I do it, but basically that's not what I did before. That's it. Basically, 2 fill squeeze after the chaka. You can use the ta sound to give it some oomph. So, and this is great to practice by itself if the rest of this rhythm is challenging. Just go. Can speed it up eventually. So open, close, open, squeeze, squeeze, pressure, pressure. So open, squeeze, and then just 2 sounds, D, D, da, da. Open, squeeze, ha, cha, a cha at the very end. So this was a totally new rhythm for me to play without even knowing if it would work on the Didge. Then I started trying to add, air drum sounds. So that feels nuts. But let's see what happens. I'm going to pause the video and go grab my Didge. Let's see what happens if I try to take a total non-Didge rhythm and put it on Didge, because that's the next step. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to try that much. It works pretty easy. So then, so chaka, chaka. So my lips were covering up something that's a little harder on the Didge. Chaka. I'm kind of pushing past it. So fill, squeeze, ha, cha. Fill, squeeze, ha, cha. Not bad. But I can feel how I need to adjust my playing now to work with the Didge. I've gotten used to playing this rhythm without the Didge. And now throat circular breathing or cheek circular breathing is available too. So I highly recommend working on the lip buzz and didgeridoo technique without a didgeridoo. It does amazing things for your strength and endurance in this area, and will teach you a whole wide range of things about your technique and whether it's transferable, if it holds up by itself or with a didge or not. And it's easier to craft some rhythms without the didge, because then you're not worrying about how it sounds. You get to slow it down and pick it apart and add weird sounds, play with things you wouldn't usually. So have fun with that. Let me know how that goes, and in the comments let me know how both this goes, and if there are any other techniques that you know you should be working on or want to be but are just not really getting or struggling with. Alright, so let me know that down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy playing!